They say love blinds you. I didn't just lose my money, I lost my ability to trust. I thought she needed help. I thought I was special. And now, I can't even look a woman in the eye without wondering if she's playing me too. I didn't come here to become bitter. But after what Marisa did, I don't know who I am anymore. That feeling came rushing back a few nights ago when I opened an email from one of you. Not from Marisa. Not from anyone tied to her shadow. It was from a long-time viewer of this channel, someone who told me he's been following quietly for months, never saying much, but always listening. He wrote that my stories had given him a strange kind of courage, and that tonight, for the first time, he wanted to share his own. As I read his message, my emotions twisted in ways I didn't expect. At first, I felt that old heaviness like shame wrapping its hands around my throat, reminding me of every mistake I made. But then, halfway through, I felt something different, a strange comfort. His words echoed pieces of my own story, and for a moment I didn't feel like the only fool in the room. By the end, when he thanked me for speaking openly, I found myself whispering, "Thank you," back into the glow of my screen. So before I continue, I want to pause here and speak directly to you. If these stories touch you in some way, if they remind you of something you've lived or something you fear, please hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. And tell me, where are you watching from tonight? I read every single one, and they mean more to me than you'll ever know. To those of you who keep coming back, week after week, I want to give you a super thank you. Your support doesn't just keep this channel alive, it makes nights like this feel less lonely. You remind me that these stories matter, even when they hurt. Let me take you back to where it all started. I can still hear her voice calling my name. Mr. Elliot. Soft, gentle. Like she actually cared that I was there. I was sitting in that cramped waiting area of the little spa on Ratchadamnoen Road, reading yesterday's Bangkok Post for the third time. My back was killing me again. 40 years of sitting behind a desk, adjusting insurance claims will do that to you. But when she said my name, I forgot about the pain completely. "Ready for your massage?" she asked, standing there in her white uniform, clipboard in hand. I'd been coming there every Thursday for 2 months since moving to Chiang Mai. Same routine. Same polite nods. Same professional smile. But that day, something was different. When our eyes met, she didn't look away. Neither did I. "How long have you been in Thailand, Mr. Elliot?" she asked while walking me to the treatment room. Nobody ever asked me that. The other girls just pointed to doors and mumbled prices in broken English. 8 months, I said, still figuring things out. "It takes time," she said, and I could hear something genuine in her voice. Thailand is not easy for foreigners. After my massage, I was putting my shoes back on when she appeared beside me, just stood there, nervous, twisting a pen between her fingers. "Mr. Elliot," she said quietly, "would you like my line ID? Maybe we can talk sometime, practice my English." I stared at her. Marisa. That's what her name tag said. 25 years old, maybe less, half my age. And she was asking for my number? I fumbled with my phone like a teenager. "I would like that very much," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. She smiled, really smiled. Not that professional spa smile, and I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Like maybe I wasn't invisible anymore. Like maybe retirement in Thailand wouldn't be so lonely after all. Walking back to my condo that evening, I kept checking my phone. Nothing yet. But that night, around 10, a message popped up. "Hello, Mr. Elliot. This is Marisa, from the spa. I hope you have a good evening." Simple, sweet, no games. I typed back immediately. "Hello, Marisa. Thank you for today. Your English is very good already." Too eager? I didn't care. For the first time since moving here, I felt alive. Not like the old guy counting days until death. Like someone worth talking to. She replied an hour later. "You are very kind. Most customers don't talk to me. They just want massage and leave." There was something sad about that message. Like she was used to being invisible too. "Their loss," I typed, and I meant it. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not because of my back pain, but because I kept replaying her voice. The way she said my name. The way she looked at me when she asked for my number. Like I mattered. Like I was worth knowing. I'd been divorced for 15 years, retired for 3, and living in Thailand for 8 months without a single meaningful conversation. Then she happened. I lay there in the dark, listening to the motorbikes outside my window, wondering if this was real. If a beautiful young Thai woman could actually be interested in talking to an old Canadian claims adjuster. My rational mind said no, but my heart, that stupid, hopeful thing, whispered maybe. Maybe she's different, I told myself. Maybe not everyone here is looking for something. I should have listened to the rational voice. Our texting started slow, careful, like we were both testing whether this was real. She would send me photos of her lunch, simple rice and curry from street vendors. I'd send her pictures of my attempts at cooking Thai food, which made her laugh. You need teacher, she wrote. Thai food very difficult for Farang. Would you teach me? I asked. Maybe, she replied, followed by a shy emoji. 3 weeks passed before we met outside the spa. She suggested coffee near Wat Phra Singh, somewhere quiet where we could actually talk. I arrived early, nervous as hell, wearing my best polo shirt like this was a job interview. When she walked up in jeans and a simple white t-shirt, no makeup, hair in a ponytail, she looked even younger than I remembered. You look handsome today, Mr. Elliot, she said, sitting across from me. It was the first compliment I'd received in years. Please, just call me Elliot, I said. And you look beautiful. You always do. She blushed. Actually blushed. You talk too much, she said. But she was smiling. We talked for 3 hours. She told me about growing up in a small village near Lampang, how she moved to Chiang Mai to work, sending money home to her grandmother who raised her. Her parents died in a car accident when she was 12. She lived in a tiny apartment behind a 7-Eleven, worked 6 days a week at the spa, made barely enough to survive. I'm not like other girls here, she said, stirring her iced coffee. I don't drink, don't go to bars, don't have many friends, just work and study English at night. What do you want to do? I asked. Besides the spa? Her face lit up. I want my own spa someday. Small one, very clean, very professional, not like places for tourists. For Thai people who need real help with their pain. I was charmed. Here was a young woman with dreams, with values, with a plan, not asking for anything, just sharing her life with me. When the check came, she grabbed it before I could. My treat, she said firmly. You are guest in my country. Walking her to her motorbike afterward, I felt like I was floating. Can we do this again? I asked. I would like that, she said. But Elliot, you know I am much younger than you. People will talk. Do you care what they say? She looked at me for a long moment. No, I don't like young boys. They are not serious. They want only party, only fun. I like men who are calm, who think before they speak. That night, lying in bed, I replayed every word she'd said. The way she looked at me when she talked about her dreams. The way she paid for coffee without making a big deal about it. The way she said she liked calm men. Older men, men like me. I told myself this was different. This wasn't some bar girl looking for a sponsor. This was a good girl from a good family who worked hard and had dreams. A girl who could see past my age, past my thinning hair and growing belly, to something worth knowing. She's different, I whispered to the ceiling. This is real. I believed it. God help me. I believed every word. The cracks started small. Innocent requests wrapped in vulnerability. We'd been seeing each other for 6 weeks when she first mentioned her grandmother. We were walking through the Sunday market, sharing som tam that burned my tongue and made her laugh. My yai is sick, she said suddenly, her smile fading. She needs operation for her heart, but very expensive. How expensive? I asked. She shook her head. Too much. Maybe 60,000 baht. I saved money for 2 years and still not enough. 60,000 baht. About 1,800 Canadian dollars. Nothing to me, everything to her. I watched her picking at her food, that bright energy dimmed by worry, and my heart broke. This wasn't a hustle. This was family. This was love. What if I helped? I said quietly. She looked up, shocked. No, Elliot, I cannot ask you. You're not asking. I'm offering. Her eyes filled with tears. Why would you do that? Because I care about you. Because your grandmother raised you to be the woman you are. Because family is everything. She cried, right there in the market. Real tears, not performance tears. You are too good to me, she whispered. I don't deserve this. The next week, I transferred the money. 60,000 baht to her account, no questions asked. She called me crying, saying words in Thai I couldn't understand, then switching to English. You save her life, Elliot. You save my family. I will never forget this. That felt better than any massage, any compliment, any kiss. I felt needed, useful, like maybe this lonely old man had found his purpose. 2 weeks later, it was the motorbike. Her old one broke down, and she was walking 2 kilometers to work every day in the heat. The mechanic says not worth fixing, she explained over video call, looking exhausted. I take Songthiu but cost too much every day. Before she could finish explaining, I was calculating in my head. A decent used bike, maybe 30,000 baht, less than $1,000. What was $1,000 compared to seeing her stressed and tired? We'll get you a new one tomorrow, I said. Elliot, no. You already helped too much with Yai. This is an investment, I said. You can't work if you can't get to work. This helps both of us. She protested, but I could see the relief in her eyes. We went shopping the next day, found a nice red Honda Click that made her squeal with excitement. When she hugged me in the dealership, in front of everyone, I felt 10 feet tall. That afternoon, I ran into Martin from my condo building at Villa Market. Australian retiree, been in Thailand 15 years, divorced 3 times, drunk by noon most days. Elliot, mate, he said, eyeing my good mood. You look different. Happy. Got yourself a lady friend? I tried to play it casual. Just a friend. Nice girl. He laughed, the sound bitter. Let me guess. Young, beautiful, poor family, grandmother needs surgery. My stomach tightened. It's not like that. Course it's not, he said. They never ask for money, do they? Just share their struggles, let you be the hero. Classic play, mate. How much you in for so far? She's different, I said, walking away. They all are, he called after me. Until they're not. That night, I opened a savings account for Marisa. 50,000 baht to start seed money for her spa dream. When I told her, she cried again. You believe in me more than I believe in myself, she said. You are like family to me, Elliot. More than family. Family. The word wrapped around my heart like a warm blanket. I hadn't been family to anyone in years. My ex-wife remarried. My sister and I barely talked. My friends from work forgot I existed the day I retired. But here was this beautiful, grateful woman calling me family, making me matter. We're going to build something together, I told her. Your spa, your future, our future. She smiled and nodded, but for just a moment, something flickered in her eyes, something that looked almost like guilt. But it passed so quickly I convinced myself I'd imagined it. After all, why would she feel guilty about accepting help from someone who loved her? The first missed date was a Thursday. We always met Thursdays after my massage, had lunch, talked about our week. Simple routine that had become the highlight of my days. But when I arrived at the spa, PJ, the owner, just shook her head. Marisa not here today. She calls sick. Sick. I checked my phone, no message. I called her line, straight to voicemail. Worried, I sent a text. Hope you're feeling better. Let me know if you need anything. No reply until the next evening. Sorry, Elliot. Very sick yesterday. Stomach problem. Feel better now. Should have called me, I wrote back. I could have brought soup, medicine. Don't want to bother you, she replied. That stung. Since when was caring for her a bother? But I let it slide. People get sick. People forget to call. It happens. The second missed date was the following week. Same story, PJ shaking her head, Marisa nowhere to be found. This time her excuse came faster. Working late. Big group booking. Very busy. But something felt off. When I passed by the spa that evening on my way to dinner, it was nearly empty. One customer getting a foot massage, PJ reading a magazine at the counter. No big group, no busy night. Maybe she meant yesterday, I told myself. Maybe I misunderstood. The third time was different. She texted me that morning. Cannot meet today. Need to visit my aunt in Lampang. Family emergency. Family emergency. Those words carried weight after what I'd done for her grandmother. Of course she had to go. Of course family came first. I respected that. Take care, I replied. Let me know if you need anything. But this time, the silence stretched longer. 2 days. 3 days. When I finally called, the line was dead. Not busy. Not voicemail. Dead. Panic crept in. What if something had happened? What if the family emergency was worse than she'd said? I called the spa. PJ answered with her usual bored tone. Is Marisa okay? I asked. I haven't heard from her in days. Pause. Long pause. She okay? Just busy with family. Do you have another number? Her phone seems to be off. Another pause. I give her message, you call. But no message came. No call. No explanation. Just silence that ate at my gut like acid. On the fourth day, she finally contacted me. Video call at 11 p.m., her face puffy and red-eyed. Elliot, I'm so sorry, she said, voice breaking. My cousin was in accident. Motorcycle crash. I couldn't face talking to anyone. Relief flooded through me. Of course. Trauma. Shock. Sometimes people shut down. Is he okay? Is there anything I can do? He's alive, but... She started crying again. Hospital bills very expensive. His family has no money. I gave them everything I could, but it's not enough. My heart broke watching her cry. This was why she disappeared. Not avoiding me, but drowning in family crisis, feeling helpless and guilty. Classic Marisa, carrying everyone else's burdens, never asking for help. How much do they need? I asked. No, Elliot. I cannot ask you for more money. You already do too much. You're not asking. I'm offering. How much? She wiped her eyes. 80,000 baht. But I don't expect. I'll transfer it tomorrow, I said. Family is family. I love you, she whispered. First time she'd said it. I love you so much. Those 3 words erased every doubt, every moment of confusion. This was love, messy, complicated, real love, the kind that showed up in crisis, the kind that helped without being asked. But even as I felt that warm glow of being needed, being loved, something nagged at me. The story felt rehearsed. The tears felt careful. And when she said goodbye, her eyes didn't quite meet the camera. I pushed the feeling away. Love required trust, and I was determined to trust her, even when trust started feeling like foolishness. The bank statement arrived on a Tuesday. I almost didn't open it. Checking accounts are boring when you're retired and living simply. But something made me flip to the savings account I'd opened for Marisa, the spa fund. Her dream account. Balance, 47,000 baht. I stared at the number. We'd started with 50,000. I'd added another 20,000 last month when she mentioned a good deal on spa equipment. 70,000 total. Where was the other 23,000? My hands shook as I scrolled through the transactions. 3 withdrawals. 15,000 baht in October. 5,000 inches November. 3,000 just last week. All cash withdrawals from ATMs around the old city. All on days when she was supposedly working or visiting family. I sat there in my condo, air conditioning humming, trying to make sense of it. Maybe she'd had expenses I didn't know about. Maybe her cousin's accident had cost more than she'd said. Maybe there was a perfectly reasonable explanation, but the numbers didn't lie. And for the first time in months I felt something cold crawling up my spine, something that looked suspiciously like doubt. I decided to ask her directly. No accusations, no drama. Just a simple question. We were supposed to meet for lunch anyway. I'd bring it up casually, give her a chance to explain. But when I arrived at our usual cafe near the temple, she wasn't there. I waited 30 minutes before calling. Voicemail. I tried line. No response. Finally, I walked back toward the spa to see if she was working late again. That's when I saw her. She was sitting in the outdoor section of a restaurant I'd never been to, laughing with a Thai man in an expensive shirt. Designer watch catching the light as he gestured with his hands. They looked comfortable together, familiar, like they'd done this many times before. I stood there across the street, frozen. She was supposed to be working. She was supposed to be saving money for her dream. But here she was, having what looked like a very expensive lunch with someone who definitely wasn't me. The worst part wasn't seeing her with another man. The worst part was how happy she looked. Relaxed. Genuine. Not the careful, grateful happiness she showed me. This was different. This was real. I turned around and walked home, my legs feeling like lead. My phone buzzed an hour later. Sorry, Elliot. Very busy at spa today. Rain check on lunch? Rain check. Like I was some casual acquaintance she could reschedule at will. Not the man who'd been paying for her grandmother's surgery, her motorbike, her cousin's hospital bills. Not the man building her a future. No problem, I typed back. Everything okay? Just tired. Talk tomorrow? But we didn't talk tomorrow. Or the next day. When she finally called, it was with another crisis. Another emergency. Another situation that required my help, my money, my endless understanding. My landlord wants to raise the rent, she said, voice small and scared. Double the price. I don't know what to do. 6 months ago, I would have transferred the money immediately. Would have felt honored to solve her problems. But sitting there, looking at that bank statement, remembering her laugh with that well-dressed stranger, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Suspicion. How much? I asked, already knowing I'd pay. Already knowing I was trapped in something I didn't understand but couldn't escape. 20,000 baht, she said. I hate asking, but I don't have anywhere else to go. 20,000 baht. The exact amount missing from her savings account. The amount she'd withdrawn in careful pieces over the past 2 months. The amount she'd already taken from the money I'd given her for her dreams. But I transferred it anyway. Because doubt is harder to live with than being wrong. Because hope dies slower than trust. Because I needed to believe that love, real love, was still possible for a man like me. Thank you, she whispered when the transfer went through. I don't know what I'd do without you. Neither did I. And that was the problem. The silence started on a Wednesday. No good morning text. No random photos of her lunch. No complaints about difficult customers at the spa. Just nothing. By Thursday evening, I was calling every few hours. Straight to voicemail. Line messages showing as read, but unanswered. Friday I walked by the spa. PJ saw me coming and looked away, suddenly very interested in organizing her appointment book. Is Marisa working today? I asked. She not here, PJ said without looking up. Is she sick? Family emergency? PJ finally met my eyes, and I saw something there I'd never seen before. Pity. Mr. Elliot, maybe you should not wait for her today. Something in her tone made my stomach drop. What do you mean? Just, maybe better to go home. I went home. But I didn't stop calling. Didn't stop checking line. Didn't stop hoping that maybe there was still an explanation that made sense. The message came on Saturday morning. I was drinking coffee on my balcony, watching the city wake up, when my phone chimed. A simple notification. Marisa. Finally. Please stop contacting me. I'm getting married soon. I'm sorry. I read it 3 times. 4 times. The words didn't change. Getting married soon. To who? When? How long had she been planning this? How long had she been lying to me? My hands were shaking as I typed back. What are you talking about? Married to who? Can we talk? The message didn't deliver. I tried calling. Number not in service. I opened line. Account not found. She had blocked me. Completely. Totally. Like I had never existed. I sat there on my balcony for 3 hours, staring at that message until the screen dimmed and went black. Then I'd wake it up and read it again. Getting married soon. I'm sorry. As if sorry covered 8 months of my life. As if sorry covered the money, the dreams, the nights I'd stayed awake planning our future. Getting married soon. The words felt like acid in my throat. To the man in the expensive shirt? To some other foreigner she'd been working on the side? Or to a Thai man her age who could give her what I never could: youth, legitimacy, a life without whispers and stares. I tried calling one more time that evening. Then again the next morning. Both times, the automated voice, the number you have dialed is not in service. Sunday afternoon, I walked to the spa. Desperate. Pathetic. Needing answers or closure or just someone to explain how 8 months of my life had vanished in a single text message. PJ saw me coming through the glass door. She shook her head and pointed to a sign I'd never noticed before. Staff not available for personal visits. Please, I said. I just need to know. She not work here anymore, PJ said firmly. Finished last week. Where did she go? PJ looked at me with that same pitying expression. Home. To family. To marry. Marry. The word hit me like a physical blow. She was really doing it. Really disappearing from my life to start over with someone else. Someone who probably didn't even know I existed. Someone who would never know that I'd paid for her grandmother's surgery, her motorbike, her cousin's accident, her rent, her dreams. Someone who would get the woman I thought I loved, while I got a text message and a blocked phone number. That night I deleted her photos from my phone. Every single one. The selfies at coffee shops, the pictures of her on her new motorbike, the videos she'd sent me practicing English words I'd taught her. Delete, delete, delete. Like erasing evidence of my own stupidity. But I couldn't delete the messages. Couldn't delete the memory of her voice saying, "I love you." Couldn't delete the feeling of being needed, being important, being worth something to someone. Couldn't delete the growing certainty that none of it had been real. The expat coffee group at Kad Suan Kayu was buzzing that Tuesday morning. Same guys, same complaints about visa runs and exchange rates and the weather. But when I walked in, the conversation stopped. Polite nods, careful smiles. The kind of looks you get when everyone knows something you wish they didn't. "Elliot," said James, a British retiree who'd been here 12 years. "Good to see you, mate. How are you holding up?" Holding up. Like I was recovering from surgery. Like I was grieving a death. Maybe I was. "Fine," I said, ordering my usual Americano. "Just fine." But Martin was there, drunk already at 10 a.m., and Martin doesn't do polite. "Heard about your girl," he said loudly enough for the whole group to hear. "Sorry, mate, happens to the best of us. The best of us." Like being scammed was some kind of expat rite of passage. Like every foreign man in Thailand had to learn this lesson the expensive way. "What exactly did you hear?" I asked. Martin grinned, the cruel smile of someone who'd been right all along. Wedding photos on Facebook. Beautiful ceremony. Traditional Thai wedding, white dress, the works. Posted 3 days ago. 3 days ago. She'd been married 3 days, and I was still checking my phone hoping for an explanation. Still walking past the spa hoping to see her familiar face. Still telling myself maybe there was some mistake. "How much?" asked David, an American who ran a small hotel. "If you don't mind me asking." I minded. But these men had been here longer, seen more. Maybe they had answers I needed. "About 300,000 baht, I said quietly. Whistles. Head shakes. Sympathetic looks. "Could have been worse," said James. "Guy I know lost his house to one of them. 2 million baht and his retirement fund. They get better at it every year," Martin added. "Your girl was good, professional. Took her time, built the relationship. Most of them rush it, ask for money too fast. But 8 months? That's commitment to the craft. Craft. Like breaking hearts was an art form. Like the 8 months I'd thought were love were actually a masterclass in manipulation. Did you ever wonder," asked David, "why a 25-year-old knockout would choose a 60-year-old foreigner over, say, literally anyone else her age?" I had wondered. Of course I had. But she'd given me reasons. Good reasons. She liked mature men. She wanted stability. She was different from other Thai girls. She told me she was different, I said. The table erupted in bitter laughter. "They all say that," said Martin, word for word. "I'm not like other Thai girls. It's like they have a script." A script. That's what it felt like now, looking back. All those conversations that seemed so personal, so real. The struggles that required my help. The dreams that needed my funding. The crises that only my money could solve. "You know what the worst part is?" I said. "I still miss her. Even knowing what she did, I miss the person I thought she was." The table went quiet. These men understood. They'd all been there. The humiliation wasn't just financial. It was emotional. Psychological. She hadn't just taken my money. She'd taken my ability to trust my own judgment. My belief that I was worth loving. My faith that good things could still happen to guys like me. "First rule of Thailand," said James gently. "If it seems too good to be true, it is. But the rules don't help when you're lonely. When you're 61 years old and retired and living alone in a foreign country. When a beautiful young woman smiles at you like you matter. When she calls you family and cries over your kindness and makes you feel like a hero for the first time in decades. The rules don't help because the heart wants what it wants. Even when what it wants is destroying you." That afternoon I went through my bank statements with new eyes. Every transfer to Marisa's account. Every cash withdrawal for her emergencies. Every deposit into the savings account she'd emptied without asking. The numbers told a different story now. Not love, but business. Not relationship, but transaction. 300,000 baht. About 9,000 Canadian dollars. Not enough to ruin me financially, but enough to change how I saw every interaction with every woman since. The young cashier at Tops who smiled at me, calculating my net worth. The friendly server at my regular restaurant who remembered my order, wondering if I was worth the effort. The Thai woman who helped me with directions last week. probably deciding if I looked gullible enough to approach. Every smile felt like a strategy. Every kindness felt like an investment. Every woman felt like a potential Marisa. I hated thinking that way. Hated what she'd turned me into. But I couldn't help it. The trust was broken, and I didn't know how to fix it. Maybe I never would. Maybe that was the real cost of loving Marisa. Not the money. The man I used to be. 6 months later, I'm walking through the Saturday market at Warorot, buying vegetables I'll probably let rot in my refrigerator when I see her. Not Marisa, I haven't seen her since the spa, wouldn't want to. But a young Thai woman behind a fruit stand, maybe 30, with kind eyes and a genuine smile. She's helping an elderly Farang count his change, patient and sweet, not looking at his wallet like it's a target. "Mango's very good today," she says to me in careful English. "You want to try?" 6 months ago, I would have heard the offer and immediately wondered what she really wanted, would have seen the calculation behind the kindness, would have walked away with a polite shake of my head, convinced this was just another setup, but something in her manner stops me. She's not performing, not trying too hard, just a woman selling fruit, making conversation, because it's Saturday morning and the market is busy and life is good. "Sure," I say. "I'll try one." She cuts a perfect slice, hands it to me without flourish. The mango is sweet, ripe, perfect. "How much?" I ask. 40 baht for 1 kilo, she says. "But you only want one." "Yes, take for free. Good customer should try first." Free samples. No agenda. No story about sick relatives or broken motorbikes. Just business. Honest business. I buy 2 kilos and walk away feeling something I haven't felt in months. Normal. Like maybe not every woman in Thailand is Marisa. Maybe some of them are just people living their lives, selling mangoes, trying to get by. The healing started small like that. Tiny interactions that didn't end in requests for money. Smiles that didn't come with strings attached. Conversations that were just conversations. Last month I started volunteering at a local school, teaching English to kids who can't afford private lessons. The principal, Ajaran Siraporn, is a Thai woman my age who's been teaching for 30 years. She's professional, competent, completely uninterested in my bank account or relationship status. She cares about the kids, about education, about making a difference. "Thank you for doing this," she said after my first week. "The children love having a native speaker." "Thank you for letting me," I said. I needed something useful to do. She nodded, understanding without needing details. Retirement can be lonely, but helping others helps ourselves too. It's true. Standing in front of 12-year-olds teaching them to say, "My name is," and "Where are you from?" reminds me who I used to be. Before Marisa, before the cynicism, before I started seeing dollar signs in every smile. These kids don't want my money, they want my attention, my patience, my terrible pronunciation of Thai words that makes them giggle. They want what I can actually give: knowledge, experience, time. Yesterday, one of my students, a girl named Nim, stayed after class to practice conversation. "Teacher Elliot," she said carefully, "why you come to Thailand?" It's a question I get a lot. Usually I give some vague answer about retirement, warm weather, low cost of living, but looking at this earnest 12-year-old, I found myself telling the truth. "I came here looking for a new life," I said. "I was lonely in Canada. I thought maybe Thailand would be different." "Is different?" she asked. I thought about it. About Marisa and the money and the months of anger and suspicion. About the mango lady and Ajaran Siraporn and these kids who just want to learn English. About slowly, carefully learning to trust my own judgment again. "Yes," I said, "but not the way I expected." She nodded solemnly, like this made perfect sense. Thailand have good people and not good people. Same like everywhere. Out of the mouths of babes. Same like everywhere. Good people and not good people. The trick is learning to tell the difference without becoming so paranoid you can't see the good ones. I'm getting better at it. Slowly. Last week I had coffee with a Canadian woman from my condo building. Nothing romantic, we're both too old and too tired for that. Just two expats, comparing notes on visa runs and weather complaints, and the challenge of making real friends in a foreign country. "The hardest part," she said, "is not letting the bad experiences ruin the good ones." She's right. Marisa was a bad experience. Expensive, humiliating, heartbreaking. But she wasn't Thailand. She wasn't all Thai women. She wasn't even most Thai women. She was just one person who saw loneliness and took advantage of it. I can't get my money back. Can't undo the months of being played for a fool. Can't erase the damage to my ability to trust. But I can choose what happens next. I can stay bitter and suspicious, seeing scams in every smile. Or I can do what Ajahn Siraporn suggested, help others while helping myself. I'm trying to choose the second option. Some days are better than others. Some days I still see Marisa's face in every young Thai woman who's friendly to me. Still hear her voice saying, "You are like family to me," when someone shows me kindness. Still feel that familiar tightness in my chest that whispers, "What does she really want?" But then I think about Nim, asking why I came to Thailand, her 12-year-old wisdom about good and bad people existing everywhere. I think about the mango lady who gave me a free sample without expecting anything in return. I think about Ajahn Siraporn who shook my hand after Parents' Day and said, "The children's English is so much better since you started. You should be proud." Proud. It's been a long time since I felt proud of anything. Proud of helping instead of just giving money. Proud of contributing instead of just being used. Proud of slowly, carefully, learning to look people in the eye again without seeing dollar signs or hidden agendas. Last Sunday I walked past the spa where it all started. Different girls working there now, different faces behind the reception desk. PJ saw me through the window and gave a small, sad wave. I waved back. No anger anymore. No bitterness. Just acknowledgement of what was and acceptance of what is. I don't know if I'll ever love again. Don't know if I'll ever trust someone enough to open my heart the way I opened it to Marisa. Part of me hopes I will. Part of me is terrified I might. Both feelings can be true at the same time. But I know this much. I'm not the same man who fell for her voice calling my name 8 months ago. I'm not the lonely retiree looking for someone to need me. I'm not the foreigner so desperate for connection that I mistook manipulation for love. I'm just Elliot, teaching English to kids who light up when they finally pronounce a difficult word correctly. Buying mangoes from honest vendors who give free samples because good customers deserve good fruit. Living in Thailand not because I'm running from something, but because I'm finally running towards something real. The other day, walking home from school, one of my students ran up to me on the street. Teacher Elliot, she called, dragging her mother over to meet me. "This is my English teacher," she said proudly in Thai, then switched to English. "He very good teacher. I love English now." Her mother smiled at me, a real smile, and said in broken English, "Thank you for help, my daughter. She very happy with English class. No request for money, no sob story about family problems. No suggestion that I could solve her difficulties with cash transfers. Just a mother thanking a teacher for doing his job well. Just human connection, without transaction. It's my pleasure," I told her, and I meant it. That night, sitting on my balcony with a beer and the sounds of Chiang Mai settling into evening, I realized something had shifted. I wasn't thinking about Marisa, wasn't wondering where she was or if she ever thought about me. Wasn't calculating how much money she'd cost me or rehearsing angry conversations I'd never have. I was just thinking about tomorrow's lesson plan, about whether Nim would remember the past tense verbs we'd practiced, about the new student who'd started last week, shy and scared but eager to learn. I was thinking about the future instead of the past, and for the first time in months, that future looked like something worth having. They say love blinds you. Maybe it does. But maybe what blinds you isn't love at all. Maybe it's loneliness, desperation, the need to be needed so badly that you can't see the difference between someone who needs you and someone who needs your money. I don't know if I'm capable of love anymore. Don't know if I can trust my own judgment when it comes to matters of the heart. But I know I'm capable of kindness, of usefulness, of making a small difference in a small corner of the world. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's better than love, in the end. Because kindness, without agenda, lasts longer than passion, with conditions. Because usefulness based on skill lasts longer than need based on money. Because respect earned through action lasts longer than gratitude bought with cash. Marisa took my money and my trust and my naive belief that beautiful women could love old men without ulterior motives. But she couldn't take my ability to teach, couldn't take my years of experience, couldn't take my genuine desire to help people who actually need helping. She made me question every woman, but she couldn't make me question myself forever. I'm learning to look people in the eye again, not searching for lies or calculating hidden costs, just looking, just seeing, Just being present in conversations that don't cost anything but attention. It's a start. Maybe it's enough. The mango lady waves when she sees me coming now. Ajaran Siraporn includes me in faculty meetings like I'm really part of the team. My students race to practice English with me after class, not because they want something, but because learning is fun when someone believes in your ability to learn. These small interactions are rebuilding something Marisa broke. Not trust in romantic love that may never fully return, but trust in human decency, faith in genuine connection, belief that good people exist, even in a world where some people see foreigners as walking ATMs. I may never love again the way I loved the woman I thought Marisa was, but I can like again, respect again, connect again, and maybe that's what I was really looking for all along. Not someone to save or someone to save me, just someone to share the ordinary moments with. The good mangoes, the successful lessons, the quiet satisfaction of a day well spent. From foreigner to fool to something like wisdom. It's been an expensive education, but I'm finally learning to value the right things, and that might be worth more than all the money Marisa took, even if it took losing everything to figure that out.